Which leads us nicely, well done, to the midfield. Because you mentioned, if you're a forward trying to press, you need communication and information from behind. If you're a defender like you were, you need the relationship between your defense and your midfield, and who's protecting you in a way, who's in front of you, who's going to help you and not help you, is also very important. Have Liverpool been so average this season because their midfield is just not good enough anymore? And certainly in that game, did they also lose that game because they were outplayed by the Real Madrid midfield?
I think come the end, they were very much outplayed by the Madrid midfield. But I think a lot of teams would be.
Yeah. It's not. I mean? In itself, it's not.
Yeah, that's the thing. If the bar of success is like Real Madrid's midfield when they're in full flight and winning, like Camavinga, Valverde, and players like this, they played well, but they got better as they were winning as well.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
It's
front running's so much easier than to be chasing. But I think from a midfield standpoint, I personally didn't think the balance was there with Henderson, Bajcetic, and Fabinho.
I agree.
It doesn't quite feel, for me, like attacking enough, I think. Defensively, I think it can be okay. But how good is the press? Fabinho, if he's going to be playing in the 6, he knows that he can't overcommit.
Yeah. Because
Benzema's it's like the falsest of false nines at times. He made some great runs in behind as well, which I saw. Yeah. But when he's drifting into the space behind you, you kind of want to take a step back. So then you're leaving the job for the others. Like, is Modric, Valverde, and Camavinga versus Henderson and Bajcetic, an 18-year-old. Yeah. That's not going to go too well. And then I think as I look at the season overall, I don't know how many games where they've been completely outplayed in midfield, because, the Premier League on a week-to-week basis doesn't pose some of the best midfield threes you've ever seen. Like, the good players, maybe to a certain extent some might be outworked, but we don't know what the data is. Yeah. But again, some of it's just to do with it's so hard to quantify, but confidence and belief in something. If you know you're going to go to try and press and you'll be beaten, you won't go and press. Yeah. But that means that the other team will have the game more of how they want. If you would say you were coaching a side and you tried to teach them this press, and every time they did it, they were beaten in the press, you'd be like, you should probably stop pressing.
Yeah,
but then
100%.
But then that plays into the hands of the opposition.
Yeah, for sure.
And what would you say Liverpool's best midfield 3 is?
When everybody's fit.
Yes.
As you know, I'm not the biggest of Henderson's fans.
Yeah.
I will have Fabinho, because I think Fabinho hasn't been good because around him players haven't been good.
Yeah.
If Thiago is fit, Thiago has to play.
Yeah. And
then the third one, I've always thought that Naby Keita could have a role to play, but clearly not. So I think, but I think there's a problem that it's not just now who's available, who's not, who could be good. It's a problem that the problem for me is that they haven't addressed the situation from a midfield point of view. I think the last midfielder they signed was Alex Chamberlain, something like that, 5 years ago, something ridiculous. I mean, how can you be Liverpool and not have thought in the last 4 years, let's say, that midfield at some point, especially after losing Wijnaldum, needed something more.
But you say this, but there's an element of recency bias to this, because we go back 1 year, 1 calendar year, and they could have won 4 trophies.
Yeah, no, for sure.
With that same midfield. I know age is a thing, but how much is it a thing to the point where you literally fall off a cliff that much? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it's the... Yeah, no, you're right.
And listen, I don't want to be right about this. I'm a City guy and whatever.
Yeah,
but there's I don't know what it is. And interestingly, I think as every game passes with results like this, I don't think Klopp knows what it is, because he'll train his team to play in a certain way, whether it's physical, mental, and so on and so forth. But now you're battling whereby maybe your players don't have the same confidence that they did. But also, the thing about football, your confidence, if it drops down 10%, that 10% goes to the opposition, because now they'll believe that they can beat you. And when teams believe they can beat you, the showing that they put on against you is something which you wouldn't expect usually when you're in the ascendancy. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.